Triboard is harvested from certified, sustainably managed forest estates in the far north of New Zealand. It has many uses, one of them being prefabricated housing. So fully brands appraised, the Triboard wall construction system has been developed along the lines of improving quality, speed and efficiency in building. The walls are solid, which gives them excellent insulation and acoustic properties. There's no requirement for sort of any internal framing. Triboard does that itself, so that houses actually end up with up to 6% more usable space than your average 3-bedroom build. So with me this morning on the program is a man who's had a lot of experience working with Triboard. Neville, how are you? Rumour has it that you built more than a few Triboard houses over the years.
Yeah, good morning, Peter. Got into Triboard about 30 years ago. Down here in Motueka, I built the aviation college at the Nelson Aviation College, and I built the building there, which is involved with classrooms. It's 70 metres from tip to tip.
Jeepers.
And it's done like a propeller. So when you're in the air, it looks like a propeller of an aeroplane. Duke and Nisho advertised for builders here to build it. They never got any response, and I happened to come across it, and I took a good look at this. So I thought, no, I'll run with this. So I got that job. We allowed 4 months to build it, and we completed the whole job. And this had a commercial kitchen in the middle, it had classrooms and toilets and all sorts. And we completed the job in 2 months. So we thought, wow, this is something. And Duke and Nisho came down and they said to us, look, you've done a good job here. He said, how would you like to have the agency for the whole of the South Island? Wow. I was sort of taken back. So I said, well, I tell you what, I've enjoyed working with this. First time I've ever used it, seen it, touched it or anything. And I was very impressed with the way it all worked. So I took it up. I opened a factory here in Motueka, and I have done 150 houses. Probably more than that now because I'm still building with it, and I'm 74.
Yeah. In that first sort of experience with it, speed is a factor. What are some of the other key reasons you like to build with Triboard?
I like it. I find it bulletproof because it has a 50mm cavity. So you put your Triboard up, so you've got 36mm solid lining or framing. You can call it both. Then you have a 50mm cavity, and then we put a Permavac air cell, which is a product from Australia. We wrap the whole house up in that, and that is the insulation and your building paper. So it's your wrap and your insulation. It's an amazing product. You get a 2R rating with it. The Triboard's got 0.4, so you end up with 2.4 in the walls. Then you put your cavity batten over top of that. Then you put your whatever cladding you want. So in effect, we have two cavities. We have the 20mm one, then we have a 50mm one, and then the Triboard, which is painted with a oil-based paint as well. So you can imagine. So I call that bulletproof.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bulletproof to me.
Yeah, not a problem with leaks, for sound, and you've got a still cavity in there. The air cell is a double-sided aluminium foil with foam in the middle, and that gives you the reflective. You're reflecting your heat back inside. In the summer, you're reflecting your heat back out.
Outside as well.
So it works both ways.
Now, I know you've been based in Motueka, but obviously you've built in Christchurch as well, including homes that were put up before the earthquake. How did those houses go with that type of testing?
Because, yes, we have done. We did 5 down there, and we had 4 of them rung up the day after the earthquake and said, we are blown away. Our house hasn't got a crack in it. The houses either side are absolutely shot. Yeah, so they said they were absolutely blown away by it. So it stood up really well. I was with EQC for a year.
Yes.
And I happened to run into some of the other inspectors that had gone to Triboard houses to do the inspections, and they came back and they were just blown away by this product that had no cracks in it. So very, very strong. It's reputed to be 45% stronger than conventional framing.
Right. And one of the other things I understand you've done is like a heat test comparing sort of standard framed homes with a Triboard home. What was the result of that?
Yes, correct. We did. We had a guy with a infrared camera who took a photo of the inside of a wall, and it showed up the temperature and if there was any heat loss, and any air loss at all anywhere. And then he went round the outside and he took the photo there, and it showed up the temperature again. And then we did it on a conventional house, which was being done straight over the road. Both houses were finished at the same time.
Yep.
And the Triboard ended up twice as good as the other. The temperature difference was huge, whereas the other one only had 2 degrees difference, and the Triboard one had a 4.5 degrees difference from the inside to the outside, which showed the insulation was working really, really well.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Can I just say,
did it was actually he knew that it was better, but he did not realise it was that much better.
Right, right. You know, I think it's fair to say that over the years, a fair criticism of people in construction is that we are not necessarily people that embrace change or innovation. Given that you picked up on the J&L Triboard 30-odd years ago, you're obviously happy to embrace change and run with new technology. And I think, you know, from my point of view as a slightly younger chippy, not much younger, I salute you and all credit to you, Neville.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And right from the word go, we had local builders here who poo-hooed it. And of course, when they saw it, didn't even know how to price it or anything. But once we had handled the stuff, worked with it, and it just showed conventional framing up in big time, especially as far as bracing go, because when you put your walls up, your ceilings go on straight away, and they're 18 mil thick. So that's screwed every 200 mil all the way around, screwed down into the frames, so you can see where the strength comes from. And you can walk around on your roof, no safety nets, because you've got a solid ceiling to put your trusses on. Trusses go on after your ceiling.
Yep.
They're all fixed with multi-grips at every 600 centres, all screwed. Great way to build, really is. I'm 74 and I can still build with it. So.
Really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us this morning, Neville.